The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Dylan Fisher. I am a regional sales manager here at McCormick Systems. We are a foundation software company. Our specialty here at McCormick Systems is estimating and takeoff software. We have an all-in-one solution. So today, I'm going to show you how we can greatly speed up the estimating and takeoff process, make you overall more efficient, more consistent with your bids. We help you stay organized, and at the same time, we can provide a lot of detail. From there, we do have the ability to send the estimating data from McCormick to foundation software for your accounting and project management, making us an all-in-one construction software solution. So today I'm going to take you through the 5-step process in McCormick. The 5-step process you'll actually see here at the top. There's these first 5 buttons labeled 1 through 5. So those are the steps that we work through, setting up the job and doing the takeoff, and then at the end, putting the final numbers together. So let's get started with the first step here in McCormick. We're looking at a dashboard of jobs. So I'm usually opening a job here or starting a new job. I'm going to look at a job that's already got a bit of a start to it. So we'll look at the details on this 149 West Boston job. You'll see here I've already named the job, and I've also typed in some job details. It's mostly customer information, phone numbers, emails, addresses. All of that is optional. All we really need here is a job name to get started, but this information can be used later on. It can automatically populate into the reports at the end. All right, so really just naming the job and typing in information if we want to. If we've got digital prints, we'll go to the DEP Drawings tab here at the bottom, and this is where we'll add the digital plans to the job folder. Now, you'll see here that I've got the ability to organize the sheets into folders. Okay, so this is just an example. You can organize your plans however you like. There's no limit on how many plans we can attach to a job folder. Later on, I may get some revisions. I might want to put those in a separate folder. To add the plans, it's quite simple. We hit the Add Drawings tab here. That opens up the computer storage. So now I've got to find my plans on my computer, on my network, wherever I happen to have them saved. I can select a single file or several files. And when I hit Open, McCormick pulls the plans into a preview mode. We will separate the plans into individual sheets. We allow you to preview them. And of course, you can just choose the ones you want here in this preview mode. Okay, so if I just needed a few of these sheets here, I could select them and leave the rest behind. We also have an import all option, so I'll go ahead and use that. All right, so those plans are now attached to the job folder in McCormick forever. They're copied right in. So that's really it for the first step in McCormick, step 1, jobs. Again, name the job, type in information if you want to, add plans if you've got them. The next step is what we call labels, and labels is where we can break the job down into pieces. So in this example, I'm saying I want to see a breakdown on these areas here. I want to see material list just for the warehouse. I want to know how many man hours I've got just in Office B, those types of breakouts. I've broken the areas further down in the systems here. So again, this is going to provide me with a lot of detail later on. I can just see the lighting in the warehouse. Again, material list, man hours just for the lighting in the warehouse. Of course, this is just an example here. We've got 5 columns to work with. We can break this job down, dissected as far as we want. Each column is a subset of the previous, so it's kind of like a tree branch. Now, this is the trunk of the tree here, the bid package. McCormick allows you to provide multiple prices per job folder. So each label here in this first column is representing a separate price. So I've got a base bid, I've got an option or an alternate, I'm working on change orders now. So again, each label here in the first column represents a separate price I'm giving the customer. And again, that does include change orders. So that's really it for labels, just labeling the breakdown structure. In step 3, takeoff, we will account for the materials. Now, on the left side here, we're looking at a database window. We're in the electrical database. McCormick has many pre-built database options, so thousands of items and assemblies. We also have the ability to fully customize the database. So, we can add parts to a pre-built database, make all the customizations we want. We could even build a database from scratch if we needed to. Now, again, we're in the electrical database, and at the bottom, you'll see that these first 2 tabs will toggle between an items database and an assemblies database. And I want to talk about an item first. So an item is a single piece of material. I'm going to use a menu here on the right side to navigate this database to help me find what I'm searching for. Again, there's thousands of parts in here. So we start with the general category here in the first column, and then as we work through the columns, it narrows down the search. I want copper wire stranded, I want THHN. Here's my list of copper stranded THHN wire listed smallest to largest. As soon as I select a piece of material in the database, the part turns blue showing that it's active, so it's ready to be taken off. Now, we could punch in a number. That's one way to do it. In fact, I'll do that right now. I want 200 feet of this. So I'm going to type in 200 on my keyboard and hit enter. We call that basic manual entry takeoff. So sometimes you may need to do that. If you didn't have a digital print or this was just a small change order, you'll see that that piece of takeoff is recorded in the audit trail with the description showing that it's marked with an I here. So that was an item. Not an assembly, so just wire. Shows the user that took it off, date and timestamps every piece of takeoff, and then it designated it with an M, so it was manually entered. Okay, when we switch to the on-screen takeoff, the counts and measurements will feed into this audit trail automatically as I mark the plan, and they'll be designated with a P. It's coming right off of the plan. Okay, so everything is recorded, very detailed, again, showing when the user took it off, which user took it off, how they took it off. And keep in mind too that McCormick is a true network system. Everything is shared. Database, job information, multiple users could even work on the same job at the same time in McCormick. Okay, so back to database. I started with a single piece of material here. I wanted to take some time to talk about this information here. All right, so I hit the review button. This allows me to see the built-in material pricing, the built-in labor units. So McCormick has this information built into all of the parts. Here we've got 4 levels of material pricing, 6 levels of labor. So material cost and man hours. Okay, there's many reasons why we have multiple levels for different, for this base bid I'm working on. I'm going to use my best price, my best labor, but maybe on a change order, I want to hide some markup into my units. I might use a higher level of price, a higher labor level. Okay, so we're not picking anything here in Takeoff. We're not really usually not paying any attention to this. It's built into the parts. Just sort of looking ahead, when we go to the extension, we'll have the ability to extend by whichever combination of price and labor we want. Okay, we have other information built into the parts as well, things like cost codes and schedule codes. That's automatic grouping for things like project management and and the accounting side of things. Everything you see here is this is how it looks for a brand new user. Everything you see here is customizable as well. Okay, so that's an item. Let's talk about an assembly next. An assembly is where we start to pick up speed. Now, obviously having things like material pricing and labor units built into the parts, that's already helping us save time. That's standardizing our bid process. Assemblies is just a group of items that we can account for at the same time. So once again, I'm in the assemblies database. I'm using the menu the exact same way. I want a device, standard grade device, I want a receptacle. Here's my list of standard grade receptacle assemblies. Same rule applies on the assemblies database. As soon as I select a part, it is active, it is ready to be taken off. So before I take off this assembly here, I'm gonna open up the byproducts window showing the parts. This is all the material I get when I take off this 20 amp duplex assembly. I get everything I need to install the outlet all in one shot. It's just a group of items. So not only am I accounting for the material quickly, price and labor is built into all of these parts. Again, there's thousands of these assemblies pre-built. They're all customizable to you. You can change the existing assemblies, you can add your own. Now I'm gonna look at the DEP specific tab to show you that these parts in McCormick already have a designated symbol and color assigned to them. So they are ready to be taken off on the plan. All right, I'm going to launch Design a Smitting Pro from the ribbon here in my toolbar. I'm going to select a sheet. And I'm going to set a scale. Now, if you look closely in the bottom left-hand corner of Design Estimating Pro, you'll see that there is an active part, assembly number 15,959, blue circle, duplex 20 amp standard. That assembly is active on the drawing because that's what I have selected here in my estimating program. So now for basic counting and Design Estimating Pro, all I've got to do is point and click. Okay, so with each click, I'm leaving this little blue circle behind. The neat part is if it's marked on the drawing, it is estimated. Every blue circle represents all of these parts. And again, all of these parts have price and labor built into it. Now, if you look in the audit trail, you'll see that count, I got 11 of them, right on the plan. It is recorded here in the estimating program automatically by the audit trail. So again, it is an all-in-one estimating and takeoff solution. You pick the part from your estimating program, you click on the plan, and you're done. So that's basic counting, really just point and click. Let's grab a linear assembly next. I'm gonna select a branch assembly. I'm running EMT, I want steel set screw with a strap. I want number 12 wire. I'm running 3 wires. Okay, again, the assembly is built, ready to go. All the parts I need to install the branch run. We do have a single line setting. That's 1 click to start and 1 click to end. So point A, point B. There's also a connected line setting that allows me to change directions. So the first click starts the run. Every click after that will change the direction. And then it's just a double click to finish the run. We can also account for vertical values right here on the drawing. So I can right click and say, give me a drop at the end. I can add drops automatically. Of course, we can get whatever value we want. So McCormick defaults to 8 feet, but we can establish whatever default drop values we want here in the override. Also, we can get them automatically. We have a lot of automated processes here in McCormick to really speed up the process. Okay, I have auto start and auto end selected for my drops. So the next run I do, you'll see those drops are gonna feed in automatically with whatever value I have established here. Let's put 10 feet on both sides here. So pretty neat. We have a legend we can turn on. I'm gonna show that to you. It's just a tool here in the ribbon, opens up in the top left-hand corner. We can put that anywhere we want. We could resize it. Of course, at the end of the day, if we want to print this out or save it as a PDF, we can do that with all this detail, with the legend turned on, with all the marks and lines. We can even filter the takeoff. So maybe we want to show a certain detail to guys doing the work in the field. I just want to make sure that they know how I estimated the branch runs. This is how I want them to run it in the field. So we can actually filter the takeoff by layers and or by the assemblies themselves. Okay, there's all sorts of drawing tools. I mean, highlighters, notes, regions, call outs, anything you can think of. So you can mark this thing up however you like. Okay, so a lot of those tools are available right here in the Takeoff ribbon. There's also a drawing tools folder, really anything you can think of. Okay, so that really pretty much covers the basics. I do want to highlight the hot list and the favorites list. Again, another shortcut to speed up the process. The hot list allows me to reactivate any part I've already used, so I never have to find the same piece of material more than once per job. I see I missed a couple duplexes. I can reactivate that assembly and knock it out. If I want to go back to measuring the branch, I can reactivate that part so I can quickly toggle between material. The favorites list works the same way in the sense that I can select parts here and take them off on the drawing. So I didn't have to find this box in my estimating program. I was able to select it from my favorites list. The favorites list is something you build for yourself with usually your most common parts, and then you can use it in that way. You can quickly activate those parts and knock them out. Okay, I want to highlight some of the more advanced functions of the program. I'm going to switch to a new sheet here. So in my last example, I was just counting and measuring. Again, I was pointing and clicking. McCormick can speed up both of those processes. We have an auto count feature. We also have an auto home run feature. So we can run one or the other. I can run just an auto count. I can run just an auto home run. We also have the ability to run both at the same time, which is really impressive. So that's how I'm going to show it today. So in order to do that, I do have to create some parameters. So for the auto home run, I need to tell the system where everything's going to. So we're going to account for all of these data outlets here, all these black triangles, and we're going to say that each one has a home run, a piece of cable that starts at the outlet and goes to this endpoint here. So we can name it whatever we like. Maybe this is a rack or a server. We can also designate a path if we want these home runs to follow a specific path. In this example, you know, a rack or cable tray, everything's going to link up to that and follow, you know, and that path is going to go take it to the endpoint. So I can draw that pathway here on the plan. Okay, and we can name that as well. We can have multiple paths and multiple endpoints per sheet. All right, so I've created the conditions for an auto home run, and now I'm going to start the process of the auto count and utilize the auto home run feature too. Now, one more thing to consider, since we are going to be doing linear takeoff, is the drops. Let's just say we want a 5-foot drop at the start of each run and a 5-foot drop at the end. We can still utilize our auto drop functions. All right, so I need to select the data outlet assembly from my estimating program. I'm going to select this one here. It's a Cat6 data outlet. Again, it's already got a symbol and color assigned to it. It's ready to go. Now, for the auto count, we switch to the auto count folder here, and McCormick prompts us to define a search location. So in this case, it's the whole floor plan. Next, it says define criteria. So within that area, I need to tell it what to search for. I'm searching for anything that looks like this. And now I'm going to hit search. McCormick will generate a list of results for me. Now it is my job to proofread this list of results. Now, again, I created the parameters for an auto home run as well. So you'll see here it has the length option, and it's not checked yet. I need to switch that to cable. It defaults to the last linear that you selected. We want to switch that to cable here. We're going to say we're running 2 cables from each outlet. All right, so I have the cable outlet or the cable assembly active. I'm going to check length here, and I'm going to tell the system that I want a orthogonal or squared off run to endpoint server 1, and I want it to follow path 1. All right, now let's proofread the results here. Everything's looking good to me. Everything I see here I want. You'll see here at the bottom a couple of the lower match rate percentages. I don't want those, so I just need to make sure I uncheck them. What's neat too is if I select the image here in the preview, we show you where it's at on the drawing, so you can easily verify it. Okay, I don't want that. I have it unchecked. I have 50 out of the 52 selected. So now I'm going to zoom out so you can see this happen. I'm going to hit accept takeoff. And now the takeoff is happening right before my eyes. All of those black triangles now have an orange asterisk on it, which represents the data outlet assembly I selected from my estimating program. And then we're starting a run from the outlet, taking it to the path, following it to the path, and then giving you those drops on both sides as well. So we do have a ton of automated features like this to speed up the takeoff process, all about takeoff speed. All right, only so much we can cover in our short time together today. We do have design build capabilities as well. I'm gonna move on to the next couple steps here, but remember that too. We have the ability to design and estimate at the same time, rather than selecting generic circles, squares, and triangles for the takeoff. We could actually put in electrical symbols. We can design the layout, provide that to the customer, and at the same time, put the estimate together. Okay, so the next couple steps here, extension and bid summary. In extension, we're dealing with material quantities, material cost, and labor hours. Now, of course, this is just one report of many. Lots of different ways I can view this job. I can look at the areas and the system breakouts, but for now, we're just looking at one big material list for the job. It's an itemized list, every nut and bolt I need for the job, total quantity. We're extending our quantities by one of the built-in pricing levels, which gives us the extended price here, total at the top, and then totals for each line item. And then we have quantity times bid labor. That's the labor unit I'm using for my base bid. And then there's the total labor hours, and then the total labor hours for each line item. We do have the ability to make changes here. Maybe I want to spot check some prices. We can make any changes we want here in extension. We also have the ability, there's lots of options for managing material pricing in McCormick. We do have pricing built in, but we do have the ability to import pricing from supplier files. We work with all the major pricing services. The pricing services can link directly to suppliers. So on a job-to-job basis, I could hit a button here and see all my live supplier pricing fill in. Again, many options for maintaining material pricing in McCormick. All right, now again, there's a lot of detailed reports we can look at here, cost code breakouts, again, area system breakdowns. I'm just gonna say, hey, I need to get this estimate out. I'm gonna push these totals to the next step and complete the job. All right, so I'm gonna hit send a summary. I've sent my total material cost, my total man hours to the fifth and final step. Okay, we're gonna finish the base bid. We're focused on this top sheet information here. You'll see that we've got material cost. Labor is at 0. We need to go to the labor folder and assign some rates to those hours. So this would be a list of your rates here on the left. Of course, this is just an example list. I'm gonna choose the foreman rate and the journeyman rate. And I'm gonna distribute the hours by percentage here. So 50% of the hours to the foreman rate, 50% of the hours to the journeyman rate. Here's the total labor cost for each rate and the hours assigned to it. And then total labor cost for the job at the bottom, you'll see that that number automatically updated the top sheet. So my material cost, my labor cost. The rest of the folders are just punch-ins. So there's a folder to insert your quoted material, subcontractors, direct job expenses, equipment cost. Here's a bond table. Here's the tax folder. Obviously, you would have your default set up in the system. All right, so back to the top sheet. The last step is to make sure we've got some markups on this job. Everything's totaled up on the right. So at this point, I've got raw cost, tax, and raw cost with tax. So this is what I'm paying to do the job without any markups on it. Overhead and profit totals populate here, but McCormick allows you to apply those markups to each category individually. For example, I want 10% overhead on the materials, and I want 12% profit on top of that. Maybe on the labor, I want 10% overhead, and I want a little bit more profit. I want 15% there. So you can get specific in that way. You can also blanket the whole job with the same numbers. You can also set up markups as a default. All right, again, everything's totaled up on the right, showing my total overhead, my total profit, total return in dollars, total return percent. There's my price. I'm not using my bond table, so this is my sell price without bond. Again, a lot of detail we can come back to later. Everything is auto-saved in McCormick. I want to leave these last few minutes here to open it up for questions. So, of course, I do encourage all of you, if you enjoyed the demonstration today, if you have questions, to call, email anytime. And, we'd love to do a full online demonstration with you. We can really tailor it to your company, the type of work you're doing, your needs. So, please don't hesitate to reach out and schedule a full online demonstration with us. I'm just going to hang back and see if any questions come through. Go ahead and type them in, and we'll talk about it as they come through. All right, so question from Andrew, are material items cost updated automatically? They can be. So McCormick, the way that we provide the program is we have an updated retail price on the materials and 3 preset multipliers off of that. We get that from trade service. Now, from there, it's up to you, the user, how you manage your material pricing. If you want automated price updates, you can either get a file directly from your supplier. We can point that to the McCormick database to automatically update the parts off of the file. You may also subscribe to a pricing service like Trade Service or Net Pricer. They will automatically update the pricing in McCormick for you, and they can link directly to some suppliers. You got it, Andrew. Thanks for joining me today. Again, if you have any additional questions, if you'd like to schedule a full online demonstration with us, give us a shout. Thanks again, everybody. It was a pleasure running you through everything. We hope to hear from you soon.